Hello, everyone. Welcome to Empower Hour with KB. My name is Kristen Brown, and I will be your host for this next 75 minutes or so. So we did a part one yesterday, and it was so amazing, so robust that I went way over time. Instead of an hour and 15 minutes, it ended up being an hour and 45 minutes. But it is so worth the listen. What everybody had to share on this talk was absolutely amazing. And I do encourage you to jump over to listen to part one of this talk if you are just joining now for part two, because there's a lot to be said about this topic regarding what would love do. This is about choosing love over fear. This is about choosing love over ego, love over pride. This is about anyone out there who feels like they really love somebody. They really love somebody. This is about a call to go higher, a call to love them in a way that really is going to benefit them and you. Because love, capital L, love is the highest essence and energy in the universe. It will heal things that you may not have even expected that they would heal when you can show up in a way that is truly embodying this essence of love. I will always disclaim, though, that doesn't mean that love does not mean that we accept the unacceptable, that we continue to be disrespected or abused, because love, capital L, love of self means that we remove ourselves, we protect ourselves, and we respect ourselves by getting ourselves into a safe space. So please know that sometimes in these conversations, people might get a little bit confused and think, well, I'm just loving this person. I'm just trying to love them. I'm trying to do everything that's been said. Well, please know that that's not part of it, because this does not mean, love does not mean that we keep putting ourselves in harm's way, whether it's mentally, emotionally, or physically. Sometimes the most highest thing that we can possibly ever do is to remove ourselves and to set and maintain healthy boundaries. I mentioned that a lot on the first talk, and it's like, well, it is going to come up on this talk, because if I find it, okay, yeah, here's one. I'll start with this one. Love leaves when it must, with integrity. Sometimes love says goodbye, not to harm, but to honor one's truth and oneself, and also to protect oneself. So leave could mean leave a relationship completely, or leave could mean that you need to remove yourself from a harmful, dysfunctional, or toxic situation. Love does that. And it's incredibly important to know that, because what this says is, I love you. I do. I love you. And I love myself enough to walk away when needed. I expanded on this quite a bit in the first part one of this, in the first part of this talk. I expanded on this because I know that this is a sticking place for many people. It can be very confusing. They're not really sure what to do, especially if you're someone who's not used to setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. It can feel extremely difficult. And trust me, I believe you. I have been in a work in progress for so long in this topic. I have played around with this, stretched and morphed and tried new things and experimented to see if I could do something that would actually create a positive impact in some respect. And believe it or not, boundaries are serving to both parties. Both parties are going to there's going to be some type of positive effect with those boundaries, whether it means you leave or remove yourself, which means you're protecting yourself and your peace, or it means that the other person does the same. Well, what happens when that happens? That sends a message to the receiver of that boundary that their behavior is unacceptable and it's out of alignment with what they are willing to receive. Now, before we do the healing work, before we know our true worth, we may have difficulty in this department because we're afraid. We're afraid to set that boundary because we're afraid what it might mean. And this is why the self-healing journey is so incredibly important. And what's the word I'm looking for? It's crucial. It's crucial for our relationships, because the only person that we can ever change is ourselves. And my motto is, when we change our inner world, our outer world will change with it. And sometimes people are afraid to do the self-love work because they are afraid what this might mean for their relationships. And of course, it takes some time to work through those things. And in the process, hopefully one is still healing, still learning to love themselves wholly so that they can stay very grounded in that place if these situations should arise. We're going to go ahead and bring up Justin real quick and see if this was a purposeful join. And if it was, we'll chat with Justin. If not, we'll continue on with this conversation. Hey, Justin, how are you?
I'm actually good. I was actually appreciating what you said about loving yourself. The way
Yeah.
that was so appreciative.
Oh, thank you.
You can't love anybody if you don't love yourself. I've struggled with that in and out of relationships, thinking that my problems were gonna go away, and they didn't.
Right.
And then at some point, I realized that the only one that's stopping me is me.
Yes.
I'm confusing everything in a way that does not make sense because I'm like, well, why is this happening? Why is that happening? I have no clue. And then I did a self inventory and I did a check. Now, this is, I don't know if you've seen the movie. It's a Tyler Perry movie. It's with Janet Jackson, and she's a psychologist, and she goes on the list. She gives the couples, they're going for like a retreat or whatever, and it's basically, the movie is Why Did I Get Married?
Mm-hmm.
And I did like a self inventory just like that. The things I like and the things I don't like and the things I want to work on. And I did a mental check-in, and I'm like, it helped me so much. I felt liberated at that point.
That's it right there, Justin.
Thank you. I felt so liberated
Yes.
because I was able to release that. I was able to just be honest with myself and, okay, this is what you need to do. This is where you need to be. And this is how you're going to get there. It felt so liberating.
It is. Absolutely.
I felt so proud of myself when I did that.
You did the most important work that I believe we can do. And I've done the same and continue to do the same every day of my life. And that's the self-inventory. And you talked about, what do I like? What do I don't like? But having the awareness, Justin, that I'm getting into relationships and these things aren't going away. They're still here. And understanding that you were the common denominator in all of that, which I've done the exact same thing. It's extremely liberating because it actually puts you back in the power seat of your life where you know now, wow, there is something that I can shift, morph, change, and grow, but it all starts with me.
And I started looking at the behaviors. Like, I was a very, before years ago, I was a very like promiscuous person. And that's part of the reason why I am the way I am now, that I choose to be a different person, because when that happened, one time I had a relation and I ended up catching HIV. And then I realized I cannot be a victim, but I'm also not going to continue this lifestyle. I mean, there were so many things to the components of my life that was so confusing and chaotic that I could not take accountability for. And when that happened, that's when I said, you know what? I need to stop right now. This needs to stop here.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So was contracting HIV kind of your wake-up call, so to speak?
Yes. I'm not going to say like it was the initial, but it was something more powerful than I could believe. Like within myself, that I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's something being said, something being done, whatever it is. Maybe this is coming from heaven above. I don't know. But I know that this is something that I need to do. And that was my journey from there.
Yeah. That's so powerful. That's so amazing. Everything you spoke today on the stage is really impactful. And I hope that people are really leaning into what you're saying, because I really feel like you've had a breakthrough. You've figured some things out. You've figured some things out. And I could hear it in your voice. It's like this kind of, it's almost like awe, isn't it? When we have these, it's like, wait a minute, I've been doing it all wrong.
I got like such a weight lifted off my shoulder. Like it's,
I completely
Definitely.
understand. Thank you, Justin. You're about to time out, but thank you
Of
so
course.
much. Thank you so much for coming up, Justin. And Justin, for the first time on my stage, you're going to be receiving 300 vibes. Yay, Justin, and anybody else who comes up. Oh my gosh, such a great share, Justin. Thank you so much. What a great way to tip off this talk this morning was with Justin's share, because he was talking about taking accountability, which is a high act of love. That's what love does. It takes accountability for your own behaviors. We go within and we say, what am I doing? What am I doing here? And how can I shift this situation? So great job. So proud of you. Okay. The next item that I'm going to list for you is that loves lets people be seen in their darkness. What this means is you don't scare me when you're messy. I will stay. You don't scare me when you're messy. People don't scare me when they're confused or depressed or they're sad, because I understand humans and I'm willing to hold that space for somebody while they're going through their mess. And that's what love does. It says, I know you're in a trial right now. I know that you're in a difficult moment right now. And I'm here and you're okay. And we're all human and we're all fallible and we all go through weird stuff and it's okay. That's what love does. Let me tell you, it is one of the most beautiful things that we can do for another human is to let them know that you're not leaving just because they're human. You're not going away because they're showing the quote unquote ugly side of themselves that they might think is the ugly side, the imperfect side, the side of them that is still questioning and still afraid. We've all been there. We still enter there. This is life. It keeps evolving. New situations and scenarios come up. And there might be times when we're just in a really great place, but somebody else is not. Are you willing to hold that space for them? Are you willing to say, you're not alone. I got you. You're going to figure this out. I'm not leaving. Now, again, this does not mean not claiming here that somebody is treating you poorly and that you sit in that. It's crucial that we set those healthy boundaries. All right. This is about somebody going through I just can think of several people in my life who were in really rough spaces and all different kinds of reasons, but they were not treating me poorly. They themselves were just struggling. And I feel like one of the most beautiful things that love can do is to reach out and say, do you need anything? What can I help you with? If anything at all, I'm here and I'm sending you loving energy. I am available if you need me, but you're not alone. So please consider that as one of the aspects of what love would do. And we're hearing from Susie again today. Thank you. Susie popped into part one and now we're hearing her on part two. Oh, Susie, I got the black hole. I'm not sure if that was, oh, there you are. Okay, you popped up. Hey, Susie.
Hey, I have so much to say on this subject.
Okay,
I'll
let's
try
do
to
it.
get it all in. Okay. So my father was abusive and my mother was neglectful. And I have a couple of friends that call me the little walking miracle.
Oh,
I love the topic of love because um, there's the part of forgiveness where you say, I forgive you. It was an issue, not an ish me.
I've never
But it
heard
takes,
that. That's
no,
really cool.
yeah, it has taken years, decades, a new century, a new millennium
I gotcha.
to
I
get
get
to
it.
that point. But you're talking about love and listening to people and their messes. And I love that you said, but we don't let them abuse us. And I remember when my mom was still alive and I would call her because I wanted to honor her, honoring your parents, spending time with them, being present while they talk. And she would start talking about my childhood or her wonderful marriage with my father. And I'm like, this woman is delusional. you know?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I was just like, I wrote her this letter and I was just like, Mom, I can't continue. Do you remember the show Fantasy Island?
I do.
Yeah, I cannot continue to pretend to be Mr. Rourke on Fantasy Island. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I have to
Ricardo
live in reality.
Montalban.
Yeah, yeah. I can't play Fantasy Island with you anymore. I'm gonna take a break because I'm trying to
Mm.
heal. She was so offended by that, and she wrote me this letter. Like, oh, you can't judge people. That's wrong. The Bible says don't judge people. Just like, no, the Bible. No, we have to judge like who is safe to be with and who is not safe to be with. I mean, the Bible's like, don't judge people's eternal destination.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's saying. But anyway, I just wanted to say that love, I'm trying to teach my husband, love yourself, choose to
Yeah.
love yourself. I look
Yes.
in the mirror, I don't know if I said this yesterday, but I look in the mirror every day now and I go, good morning. It's nice to see
Ah,
you. It's nice to be you. And it's a genuine smile. And golly gee willikers, that's a great way to wake up, you know?
girlfriend, you're giving a big bright smile on my face. The minute you said that, my face just lit up. Yes, it's so good.
Yeah. It's like I raised my three children. They're all adults now. So it's my turn. It's my turn to meet mother
That's
myself,
right.
you know? And so I would do that with my kids. Hi, it's so good to see you. Good morning, and just the biggest, brightest smile. And so I'm like, it's my
Yeah.
turn. My mom didn't do that to me. She
Oh,
didn't want kids. Dad talked her into it, you know?
you're
And
reparenting.
so it's like, huh?
You're reparenting yourself.
Exactly. And so I'm like, I'm precious. I'm
Yes.
amazing. I'm
Yes.
wonderful. And
Yes.
this is not anything about me being, I'm all this and I'm all that, and you're not. No, 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 no. You are wonderful and you are amazing. And the person that was up before me, I missed the name and I'm sorry. They
Justin?
are wonderful. Justin
Yes.
is amazing. Justin is so lovable. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You know,
Yep.
everyone is lovable. Everyone is amazing. Everyone is a genius at something.
Yep. I agree.
And if we were all able to get ourselves to that point, this world would be so much different.
I know. I know. I agree with you. You are a walking
And
miracle. I love that your friends call you that.
I came back because you said, I hope you'll come back. And I'm like, okay, I'm taking her at her word.
And girl, keep coming back. Keep coming back. That's what we love here on Noon Vibe. We love that.
Oh, I love you. I think you're awesome and
Thank
wonderful
you.
and amazing and precious.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
nice to talk to you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Susie. Thank you so much. And the same back to you, sister. So here I sit with misty eyes and a plastered smile on my face because you guys just saw the embodiment of love right there. You just saw it. This is a person who embodies love in all the forms and who has obviously been through some things. Obviously, that is not an easy upbringing that Susie laid out, but she chose differently. She chose love in whatever form, and she kept moving through it and moving through it. And I super love that she talked about, it's my turn now. It's my turn. And yes, I understand because when you're raising kids, you guys get that. We all have been there for those of us who've had children, but it's always our turn. But sometimes we're so wrapped up in what we're doing, we don't take that time. So even though this conversation is how do we love well, what would love do? Remember, it's not just what would love do in relationship, it's what would love do for you. Super important. Susie, thank you. Thank you for coming up again. And please continue. I hope you stick with us here on Noon Vibe because you are a joy. You have a lot of wisdom to share. And I just really love meeting the faces, hearing the voices of the people who are in the listeners lounge. You guys matter and you're amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Love gives without keeping a ledger or keeping score. That means that we give not out of duty or not out of strategy, which means we're wanting something back. It is, I give because it's who I am, because it feels good to give. Now, again, the operative thing here, this is not I give out of strategy, which means people pleasing. I'm an overgiver. I'm going to give at the expense of my well being. This means that we learn to give from our overflow because we love to give, because we are lovers and we are givers, but also being super mindful about tending to oneself and giving to oneself equally. So love gives without keeping a ledger. What that also means is we don't give expecting in return. Now, this can be a tricky situation for some because they're like, but I'm the one giving, and I'm getting nothing from Bob or Trish. For those of you who are new here, Bob and Trish are my names that I use for in reference. It's not a particular Bob or Trish in my life. Okay. I don't even know any Trishes. I do know one Bob. It's just the names that came up the first time that I was using an example. So this means that I may not be getting back equally from Bob or Trish. I may not be getting back from them equally. So what does this mean? Because where does the scorekeeping come in there? Well, there's many, many variables that play here. One is, are they truly a selfish person? Are you dealing with a narcissistic type person? Are you dealing with somebody who is just too self-absorbed? Or is it that you're giving to receive? I have a friend that back in the day, she would do all of these things for her group of friends, but then she would get mad because they wouldn't do the same things back to her. And she said she was just doing it out of the love of her heart, but truly she had an agenda. There was a reason why she was doing the things. So keep in mind that this is truly about I give because I want to give. I give because it feels good to me. We were at a store recently, my daughter and I and her best friend and her boyfriend. And there was this gorgeous pillow and her best friend was staring at it and like, this is really cute. And I said, do you really like that? And she goes, oh, I love this. She wasn't going to get it though. And I said, I'm going to get that for you. And she just, oh, you don't need to do that. And I said, no, you just graduated from her particular trade. And I said, I want to do this for you. And my daughter looked at her and said, welcome to the world of my mom. This is what she does. Just say thank you and accept it. And that's me giving out of love. Do I expect anything back from this 19-year-old child? Absolutely not. She wanted it. I had the money. I bought it for her. She went home, put it on her bed, took a picture and showed me. And it was really fun and it felt good. That's what giving without keeping score, without keeping a ledger truly means. Mabel, come on up. Share with us your story. What would love do? So happy to hear from you.
Hi, Christine. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Good to hear you.
For me, like what would love do? And my a little bit story that I grew up without parents, but my grandparents give me love. We're not
Yeah.
we're not rich, but they give us love. Protection, and without any expectation. And for that, I just want, like, now that I'm already married, and I do give love to my son and my husband, but at the same time I give them, especially for my husband, I give him, like, how do you say it, um I be open. I'm very open that if I don't feel like it's something wrong, I will say something to him, you know and especially if it's not right, I will tell him. And I actually one day I told my mother-in-law, like, don't be surprised if your son is in the jail, not because I don't love him, it's because he did something that I don't like it. I don't tolerate it.
Right.
That tolerate word is the one that I don't like it. I don't tolerate anybody. Because we are here. I don't expect you to love, love more or whatever, but just, I think respect and love is it's just there. So that's for me, that's how I love people. I don't
Yes.
tolerate.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like, oh, what loves me, because
That was
it's
actually, Mabel,
yeah.
that was part of yesterday's talk. We
Oh
talked
really?
about, yeah, we
Wow,
talked
I
about
miss
that
it.
that love is honest.
Yeah, yeah, it is true.
Love is
Because
honest.
guess what? You cannot, like, for me, honestly, you cannot force me to love someone. No, it's about how I feel. How I feel. Even if it's that one is strangers, if I see something that, they need help, even if they don't ask me, I will go there and ask, do you need help? Or, because it kills me if I see something. Let's see, one time I was at work and I see people looking for food in the trash. I was inside the hospital, and at that time I was taking my break. I think taking my break, and then I stop, and then I go out and I give my food. Although I already eat food, I already mine, but I still have something to share. And then I go
Oh,
I go out, and then I give it to him, and then it's like, you don't need to get that, and then I will give you this food, and he say, oh, thank you so much. And I have one story that this Noom Vibe, Noom Vibe give us gift card.
yes.
Yes. Okay. I want to share this because this is, I don't know, it's just out of nowhere that every time I use my gift card. I use my gift card to buy something, and I usually buy snacks for my gift card at CVS. And sometimes I will, encounter, like, people that standing there as, looking for food, and I will share I will share the stuff that I bought from my Noom Vibe. Like, oh my God, Noom Vibe, you are
Oh, I love
powerful.
it.
Like, you know what? I am smiling. Like, wow, Noom Vibe, you guys are, you don't even know the gift card that you're giving to us. We can share it. Yeah. So it is beautiful that, I just want to share that. And thank you for
That's
having me,
really
Christine.
beautiful. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mabel. I always
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Bye, Mabel. I love that. She gets a gift card from Noon Vibe. I think I might do that.
Yes.
I just cashed in some vibes. I haven't got my card yet. I think they have a little disruption there on the back channel. I'm not sure what's happening, but I cashed in a whole bunch of vibes for a gift card. And that's a great idea. What can I buy for someone else? But what Mabel was talking about was along the lines of what we had mentioned already about love gives without keeping ledger, without keeping a score. And that's so important. We just give to give. So before I bring up my next guest, because I don't want this to roll into a part 3, I'm going to go to the next one, and that is love learns how they need to be loved. Teach me how to love you better. How beautiful is that? Teach me how to love you better. What can I do right now? Where am I falling short? Where are you not feeling loved? How can I up-level myself in some capacity that can make you feel more loved? This is always a call to growth. That's what this is. Love calls us to grow. I mentioned in the first talk that my entire parenting journey has been a call for me to grow. So if people are like, how did you raise such high functioning kids that love you and love to hang out with you and all their friends love you? Like, what happened? There's one answer. I grew. I took accountability. I paid attention to myself. I self-reflected. I had my eye on the prize of what the ultimate goal meant. I also knew my power as a parent. I was like, girlfriend, you got one chance to get this right, which is really not right as I'm saying this out loud, because kids are so, what's the word I'm looking for? Forgiving, but in a flexible type of way as well as a forgiving way. Our kids are born loving us. They just love us and they want to please us. They want to make us happy and they want relationships with us. But eventually, if a child decides they can't have a relationship with us, well, that's not their fault, is it? So I learned to shift in more of what would love do? What would love do? What would love do? What would love do? How can I show up? And like I said in the first talk, sometimes that was boundaries. Sometimes that was tough love. Sometimes it was things I did not want to do. but I knew that it was good for them, that they needed that they needed me to say, hey, did you bring, I started, let me back up. I gave my kids weekly chores and I gave them money for their weekly chores. It was like $15 a week, not much. This is how many years ago? And because a lot of people say kids just need to do chores around the house, period. Well, I wanted to teach them about money, and I couldn't teach them about money if they didn't have any money. So what would love do? I would go to Target and they'd be asking me for things, and I'd say, did you bring your money? No, I didn't. I had the funds, you guys. It was very successful. I had the funds. And I said, well, sorry. Do you think that was easy? I'm cringing. I'm looking the other way. I can't look at the disappointment on their faces. I can't, oh my gosh. And then the shoulders slump and they're all sad. And well, can we come back in an hour? No. Oh God. And then I'd have to look the other way again. I mean, this is what love does. I had to do what love does. My son brought that up the other day because in the first part, I was talking about how they want me to write a parenting book. And he brought that up. He goes, the whole thing about the chores mom and making the money. And if they didn't get their chores done that week, they didn't get any money. Do you think that was easy? Oh my God, I felt like the meanest person on the planet. Remember that whole thing? It hurts me more than it hurts you. That hurt me in a big way. But what did I do? I stayed with it. And was I great with it? No. There were sometimes I just gave them the $15 anyway, even though they missed the one day of vacuuming or they forgot to do their toilet in their bathroom or whatever it was. But I did my best to do that because I needed some type of leverage. I needed them to learn. And that's what I did. And they're all really good with money now. The next one is love learns how they need to be loved. Sometimes people need to be loved by limits. Sometimes people need to be loved by boundaries. Sometimes people need to be loved by tough love. Sometimes they need to be loved by hearing that we love them. Sometimes they need more physical touch. Sometimes they need more time with us. Paying attention to our people and understanding how it is that they need to be loved. What language of love resonates with them? Understanding that and talking about it and saying, how do you feel loved? What do I do when you do feel loved? What am I not doing that would make you feel loved? We can play around in this area because if we have somebody who is very needy, very desperate, very low self-worth, they might pile a whole bunch of stuff on us that is really not serving. That's really them just trying to get somebody else to fill their void. So these type of conversations are very, very helpful because we can determine what is it really about my actions and behavior, and is that resonating with me? Because I remember someone saying to me once, with my first relationship, my first marriage, he'd give me flowers, but he wouldn't say anything. He just set the flowers on the table. And my language is, why do I have these flowers? I don't care that there's flowers. Not every single woman wants flowers. So him thinking every single woman wants flowers, give her flowers, that makes her happy. No, I want to know why. Why did you buy me these flowers? Were you feeling love for me? Were you grateful for me? Are you this for me? Well, in hindsight, what I realized, it was really a manipulation strategy. If I give her flowers, she will get over this, or she will now perform this for me, or do this thing, or whatever it might be, because he could never really come up with why he bought them. And I think it's because he didn't want to admit them. So it was like, my language is telling me you appreciate me, telling me that you're glad for the things I do or what I contribute, et cetera, et cetera. So it's important that we do communicate how we can feel loved, but also ask our people preemptively, how can I make you feel more loved? What can I do that will help you to feel loved by me? All right, the next thing is love doesn't vanish when it's inconvenient. And this kind of goes hand in hand with love lets people be seen in their darkness. It's sort of the same thing. It's that true love is not just a feeling. It's a commitment to care. It's a commitment to choose them again. It's a commitment to stay. It's saying, I will do what it takes. I'm here 100% for this relationship. I will do what it takes. I'm going to stay, even though this is difficult right now, even though it's inconvenient, even though I'm not loving what we're going through or what's happening in this particular area, let's work through this. Again, with boundaries, you guys, I will continue to say that. I'm an empowerment coach first, and we need to protect ourselves with boundaries. But this is saying that I'm not going to up and run. I'm not going to abandon or neglect you because things are getting a little bit wonky or a little bit uncomfortable. It means I am choosing to stay and I'm choosing to work through this with you. That's a beautiful thing. All right, I have 3 more. I'm going to get through these and then no one's in the queue. Someone was there and they popped down. So please know if you want to join the queue, now is the time to do so. I have 3 more to unpack and then I'll bring up whatever guest I can. Okay, so the next one is love takes responsibility for its own healing. It doesn't make the relationship the cure. What this means is I will do my own inner work. It's not yours to fix. This is, again, about accountability, which way back in the beginning of this talk, Justin was talking about. It's understanding I have some unhealed places inside of myself. I have some wounds. I have some areas that need some care. I'm not looking at this situation correctly through the eyes of love. I am seeing it through the eyes of fear and my wounds and my defensiveness. And I am going to heal that area. To love means that you look at yourself, your actions, your behavior, and you discover where you need to heal so that you can show up differently. Love takes responsibility. I believe one of the best things that we can ever do for our loved ones is to work on our own healing, period. I believe that is the best thing we can do if we are showing up in a way that we are not enjoying the results we're getting. If there's a fracture in the relationship, if there's something where it's not balanced, looking at ourselves and asking ourselves what it is that I can shift, morph, change, grow, evolve about myself. How can I adjust this in some way? That's love. That's what love does, because love cares about the other people. Love cares about the relationship. And the next one is love remembers to be grateful, even for the ordinary moments, even for the know-nothing nothings. In fact, especially then. Being grateful, sitting in the gratitude, not taking that person for granted. My husband made the bed this morning. He typically is a bed maker, but he's working on a few areas of himself where everything doesn't have to be perfect. And so he's let it not be made a couple times just as like a little practice for himself, which is great. But he made it this morning. And I walked in from out of the shower and I saw this beautifully made bed. I'm grateful for that. And I tell him those things. I say thank you. My son, when he does something around, like the other day, when we got the house remodeled, we got pull-out cabinets that have the trash cans in them. And I pulled one out to look in there, to throw something in there, and they were all empty. The recycle bins and the trash. And I said, did you take the trashes out? He goes, yep. I'm like, thank you, honey. I really appreciate that. I don't want to take for granted that he's going to take the trashes out. I appreciate it. So I'm going to show that. It's being grateful for the little things, even when somebody gives us a compliment. They didn't have to give us a compliment, but you have somebody who loves you enough to say, hey, you look great today, or I love the way you said that, or that was remarkable how you did this, or gosh, I so appreciate that you took the large trash cans down to the curb. The more gratitude that you can sprinkle into your relationships, the better. In fact, Gottman's Institute, this is like the world-renowned Institute for Healthy Relationships, says that we should have 20 gratitudes for every critique. Look at the weight on that. 20 gratitudes for every critique. So we should be blowing our people up with gratitudes and compliments. That's what love does. Yes, the critiques are going to happen. Yes, the mistakes are going to happen. Yes, the things are going to happen. The conflict's going to happen. But it lands so much better when we've got this big fluffy pillow of gratitude for them to stand on. Because then the one little thing doesn't appear like the world is ending. And that's not always 100% of the time, because there's some people that can be so wrapped up in their own drama, in their own trauma, in their own narratives in their brain, that we can compliment them 8,000 times to one critique and they blow their stuff at you, right? That can happen. But as a general rule of thumb, 20 gratitudes to one critique. How about that? I think that's beautiful. All right, the next one is, and the last one is, love admits, I don't always know how to love correctly. And it stays in learning. And this goes hand in hand with that love takes responsibility for its own healing. What this says, I'm willing to grow in how I love you. I'm willing to grow. There's been so many examples of people who love so desperately and so deeply, not desperately in a bad way, and so deeply, but they don't show it. They're not vulnerable. They're not willing to compliment. They're not willing to share those beautiful feelings. Or they hear a song about the person and they don't say to them, this song reminds me of you, or this is how I feel about you. Because they may have learned somewhere along the line that loving is unsafe. That when I'm vulnerable, I'm going to be hurt. So love says, I'm willing to grow in this area. I don't always know how to love you correctly, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to see you as a safe place that I can share my heart. See you as someone who can actually hold this space for me, who's not going to exploit me, who's not going to make me feel embarrassed or ashamed for my emotions. And then trusting that person is a place that you can share that. Love says, I want you to feel my love. I want you to feel how loved you are. That's one thing that my children said to me too. They said, we never questioned your love, Mom, ever, ever. Your love or your dedication to us. It's a non-thing. It's non-existent. I've questioned my dad's love before, not my mom's, but my dad's. They question their dad's love. All three of them. They have two separate dads. The first two have one dad. The third one has a different father. They've all questioned that. I don't want people to question my love. I want people to know every day that I love them. So that at that 11th hour, when I'm sliding into home base, if you know what I mean, I'm not trying to convince everybody. I want them to know I love you. I love you every day, all day, every day. Despite the conflicts, despite the arguments, despite the times that whatever had happened that didn't look so perfect and beautiful. None of that matters. Relationships are messy sometimes, and I love you anyway. So love is willing to learn how to open its heart and how to love someone with every fiber and every breath of your body, and knowing that it's one of the greatest risks that you could ever take. Because when someone feels loved by us, they want to stay with us. And the strange thing is the opposing factor of this is those people that withhold their love. They're not vulnerable. They're not sharing. We question their love. And if things get rocky, why am I even here? They don't even love me. But when they know that we love them, they're going to fight for the relationship as equally as we will. They're going to show up and continue to show up and continue to try to work through things because they don't want that relationship to end any more than you do. So being willing to take that risk, to love wholly, wholeheartedly, completely, 100%, and to show that love and to take that risk, you're doing your relationships one of the greatest services that you can possibly do. Because if they don't know it, what are they fighting for? We stay in relationships where we feel loved, where we feel safe, where we feel connected. Those are the ones we never want to give up. But often people are withholding all of that for fear that you're going to leave them. I better not take this risk. This person's going to leave me. I better not be open and tell them how amazing they are, or else they're going to learn they're amazing and then they're going to leave me. I've had 2 men in my life say that to me. 2 men. I don't compliment you because I'm afraid that you're going to realize how great you are, and then you're going to leave me because you're going to realize how not great I am. I said, you're doing the wrong thing. You're doing the polar opposite of what you should be doing. Blow me up. Make me feel your love. Make me feel how much you appreciate me. I'll never want to leave you. Isn't that fascinating? That the ego and the brain will talk us into doing something that is not good for us. Yeah. Stephen said, ouch, I want that true love. Oh, you will, Stephen. Oh, you will. With what you're learning right now, you will. You are aligning yourself vibrationally to receive it. So just trust, have faith, brother. It's coming. I know it is. All right, you guys, this concludes the talk on what would love do. Amazing conversation. We had Justin, we had Susie twice, we had Greg, and we had Mabel. And I appreciate everybody who stayed and listened to this talk. There is a part 1. It is long. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes, but it is so worth the listen. If this type of conversation appeals to you and inspires you, and you want something that just kind of puts a little giddy up in your step, kind of a reset, kind of a, is there something I can do differently? There's 20 of these altogether. There's 12 of them that were listed in the first one. So please revisit that, check it out, and see what you can gain from that conversation. If you are listening to this on a podcasting platform, be sure to, if you can, if it's on YouTube, I guess. So YouTube, you can send up a like and make a comment. And if it's on any other podcasting platform, God, that's a lot of words for me to get out of my mouth. Then I invite you to go over to your app store and leave a 5-star rating and review and just tell me how you're feeling about these conversations of Empower Hour with KB. Also, for anybody listening, be sure to check out my Linktree because I have tons of free resources over there. Self-love quiz, people-pleasing quiz. There's all kinds of free resources to help you with self-love. And there's coaching opportunities. And my self-love merchandise shop, that means putting material and shirts and things on your body that have an empowering message. They feel so great to wear. So go check out that as well. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Much love, everyone. Thank you.